Making a wager between the Winnipeg Jets and Edmonton Oilers, talking about investing, water stocks, cannabis stocks, and rebound stocks. Can't wait for you to check out today's video where I collaborate with another fellow Canadian YouTuber. Hey, you wonderful people out there, Chris here from the Business Report Show. Before I begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you do enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button. Every little bit helps. I have a great video for you today, and it's one that I've been super excited to release on my channel. About a month ago, the YouTube algorithm decided to pop a video onto my feed, and the thumbnail showed an individual pointing at the words cannabis and HCO with the title mentioning Wealthsimple. Since then, I've reached out and we've been chatting about exchanging ideas and collaborating together on YouTube. This YouTuber's name is Kyle, and he hails from the great Winnipeg, Manitoba, and his channel is Kyle T. Mev. He's been making tremendous progress on his channel and his investing journey, and I like how genuine he comes across in his videos. I was excited to sit down with him virtually a few days ago to talk about hockey, like all Canadians do, and about some of his thoughts behind his long-term picks in water, cannabis, and rebound stocks. Now, we also filmed the video in two parts. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below, and make sure to go check out the second part of the video. Hope you enjoy.
So you're wearing the Oilers hat today, I see.
I am. I got a match with you. You got your that's the Jets hat, isn't it?
No, this is just
a Canadian
hat. It's a Gong Show hockey hat. It's just a Canadian brand of hockey gear in general. But it was funny when I came across your channel there, it was the first thing I noticed was the Oilers hat in the background. You don't typically wear it, so it definitely caught my eye. I have a bit of a soft spot with the Oilers. In the Winnipeg Jets, they broke my heart there, and they left Winnipeg and went down to Phoenix, Arizona, of all places.
Yeah.
The Oilers were definitely my new home team thereafter. I mean, along with all Canadian teams in general, but it was a tough few years there until we got them back in 2011.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy that the Jets are back. We need more Canadian teams.
Completely agree.
Your Jets last night, I know this video is going out at a later time, but I was watching some highlights, and unfortunately the Jets did lose in overtime. However, actually that was a sick goal by Matthews. As much as I don't like Matthews, I'll say that was a pretty sick goal. But I think it was Ehlers. Man, he had a good night.
Ehlers had a stellar night. He's been playing great lately. But back to Matthews, though, that was unreal. That fake shot to the backhand bar down. Like, Hellebuck was unreal all night, but he couldn't stop that one.
In the offseason, I think the Oilers were trying to get Hellebuck, right? Like, there was rumors that we were extending an offer. I wish we would have got, like, he is an amazing goalie. It's unbelievable.
Oh, he's the backbone of the Jets for sure. I don't think we're ever going to give him to you. No thanks.
Well, it's like the gaping hole for the Edmonton Oilers, right? We have not, I guess, since Curtis Joseph, if you want to, I don't know how far back we want to go. And I would say Curtis Joseph may have been, I would say, the last solid goalie. The Oilers fans may crucify me with this, but that's my opinion.
No, the Cujo era for sure. I completely agree there. I feel for the Oilers. Like, they have such a powerhouse forward core. In Draisaitl, McDavid, they got Nuge, and even Yamamoto. He's been unreal this year. He's short. He's super quick. He's agile. I just don't know why the Oilers can't do anything in the postseason. It confuses me.
It's I think the other teams figure out our system, and we haven't been able to adapt. I think that's the strengths of you look at the Jets. Even the Calgary Flames, I know they're struggling this year, but the teams just figure it out in postseason, and the Oilers can't seem to adapt. And that's where the struggle is.
Definitely. I mean, it's anyone's game in postseason. I think, like, for this year in the North Division, the way it's been with the pandemic, it's anyone's game at this point. I think Ottawa's the only team that's on the outside looking in. Everyone else is such a tight race at this point, and with the Leafs at the top right now, they're the team to beat, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the Leafs has had the Oilers' number all season. The last 3 games against the Leafs, the Oilers managed 1 goal.
Yeah, I'm not a Leafs fan, I'll tell you that much. But I got to give them props. They're definitely the team to beat right now.
Yeah, for sure. Now, between the Oilers and the Jets, I think we're 2-2 in the season so far. And we do have a game coming up, and I think you and I want to put a bit of a wager here for our YouTube audience here.
I'd be crazy not to. I got confidence in the Jets, and I'll take this bet any day.
Sounds good. So I think the deal is this: if the Oilers win, you're gonna have to don a Oilers shirt. Won't make you go out and get a jersey if you don't want to. That being said, I actually may go get a Jets jersey. I love the new jerseys. I love them.
They're super nice. They're
They look
awesome.
beautiful. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And vice versa. So if the Jets win, you know what? I'll even go out and get a Jets cap. How's that?
That sounds like a fair bet to me. It's on.
Awesome. So that game is on Thursday, March 18th. And in either of our channel's next videos, you'll either see me wearing a Winnipeg Jets shirt or Kyle wearing Edmonton Oilers shirt.
Yeah, you got it. I want to get into some stock talk here a bit, but before we do, I just want to let you know that I really appreciate your channel. I came across it a few weeks back there, and you're very analytical in your stock picks, and I really appreciate your content. And I'm really happy to have you on my channel. For everyone that's watching this from my channel, the Business Report Show. This is Chris. He's from Alberta, and definitely go check him out. He's doing some great things, and I like that he's doing the same challenge that I am in the Wealthsimple Trade Challenge, where for myself, I'm trying to raise $25,000 in my first year, which was inspired by another fellow from Alberta, and his name is Ryan, and he's on the High Ride channel. And for yourself, you're from Alberta as well, and I'm representing Manitoba here. But I really like what we're going on, and I think it's a nice community we're building.
Yeah, absolutely. And same thing. I ran on a Kyle's channel as well. As for those of you who know the YouTube algorithm, you start watching some of these and then they start feeding you other channels. So actually your thumbnails are what caught my attention. And I think you had one talking about your journey, and you had the Wealthsimple logo. So I thought I'd click on it and check it out. And I like how genuine you are in your channel. And when I did see some Winnipeg Jets gear, I think in the background at one point in time, I thought, you know what, I should reach out to Kyle. It seemed pretty cool if we could get, as you said, a Canadian, call it, group of YouTubers together and taking on this challenge. I think it's good. I think investing is an important thing. And so I think anything that's out there promoting financial literacy and investing, I think is a positive thing. So yeah, no, definitely been enjoying watching the growth of your channel as well.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. And above and beyond the actual financial side of this challenge, for me, it's a lot about lifestyle as well. So making those better lifestyle decisions, on the day-to-day, month-to-month basis, where I'm taking any of that money saved and actually throw it into my investing account, that being Wealthsimple. So for those of you that aren't too familiar with Wealthsimple, it's a robo-advisor platform. It's super easy. As you know, it's an app on my phone, and I simply go on it and I take a look at what companies I believe in fundamentally, and they're going to grow in the long term. And I go to town, and that's I think a huge thing for me is that this isn't money that I'm gonna lose my groceries or can't pay my bills on. It's just money that otherwise before this challenge I wouldn't have noticed it anyways, because it was money I was spending through poor habits. So yeah, making those better lifestyle habits and learning how to make better lifestyle changes through this community, it's been working great for me, and I hope everyone else is taking advantage of this great community as well.
Yeah, and one thing I will say, I mean, I invested when I was very young, started investing at a very young age, and probably got that from my father, where it was, and that's what he just said, make it automatic, $100 a month. And so I kind of brought that along and have been able to save a lot. But I will say the difference in today's world is you do have platforms like Wealthsimple, which we're not sponsored by the way, but it's just a platform we use. And one thing I like about it is that it's commission free. When I was just starting to invest myself and I wanted to dabble in stocks, the commission rates weren't even as low as some of the low fee ones. I know with iTrade, it's like $9.99 a trade, but before that, it used to be like $24 a trade. And so as a novice investor at that time with very little money to invest, you had to return a lot before you could even recoup the commissions on both the buy and the sell side. So I think that's the difference, and that's why we can do the spare change type deals right now, where I could pick up one or two stocks and that commission isn't taking a big chunk of that return out off the top. So I think these platforms are very helpful, and I think it's increasing the amount of investors that are coming to the table now.
I completely agree. Like just those small deposits, right? Like $10, $20 here and there. It's with commissions that would just gouge our potential. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I know you're bullish on some water technology or water stocks as well. One of them I think both of us hold is HEO.
Yeah, exactly. H2 Innovation, they're doing a lot of great things to combat the world water crisis. If you're not familiar, or for those who are watching that aren't familiar, it's a quick Google search. It is a problem in the future, and it is a crisis now, actually, in that fresh water is becoming depleted throughout the world. And this company is doing a lot of great things in that they have desalination plants that convert salt water to fresh water, and they're going to help combat this crisis in the long run. So for me, this is definitely a long-term buy and hold, in that I support what they're doing fundamentally, and I believe that they're in a great financial position. Their financials are great, and I'm looking forward to them grow in the future.
Yeah, one of the things, again, Europe is still a leader in a lot of sustainable technology side of things. And one thing I liked about HEO's or H2O Innovations balance sheet was they did sign a couple new contracts in Europe, I think about a year and a half ago, if I'm correct on that. And so it's definitely helping their balance sheet. But I agree with you, Kyle. It's scarcity in water is a big issue for the world. Funny, somebody joked with me. They said, "Hey, Chris, there's water all over, like in the ocean." I said, "Have you tried drinking salt water before? You will die."
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I've done so inadvertently on my trip to Australia when I tried surfing, and I thought I was going to keep up with the big boys, the local Australian kids, and I definitely ate a lot of salt water.
Yeah, yeah. So to your point, yeah, this company, I would say it's very, very important for the future, and there's surprisingly not tons in terms of publicly listed companies that deal directly in a multitude of water-based things. There's a lot in the U.S., but not a lot in Canada. So I like the stock as well.
Yeah, so do I. And above and beyond that, maybe more on a micro level, as we know, they've signed a contract with Tesla. So anything that has to do with Tesla is, to me, a great thing. They're building that fundamental relationship with Tesla, which could lead to more, which can lead to greater things in the future for them.
What about like rebound stocks? I know that's kind of one that I've been following. Have you been following any, call it economic rebound stocks?
Yeah, it's been interesting, like with this pandemic and, the market crash we had last spring, and the ones that are slowly making a comeback. And I think that these particular ones have a lot of opportunity for more growth if we open things up further, that being your Cineplex, hotels, Air Canada. How do you feel about a few of those companies, and do you see them growing in the near future?
Yeah, so I did buy into Cineplex the other day. Very little, and I always mention this on my video. Some of these stocks are very high risk in my opinion. So with Cineplex, I think I only picked up about 40 shares, and really for that one, I'm just riding the wave. That's all it is. I think people are loving those rebound stocks that you just mentioned, like Air Canada, Cineplex, and I think a lot where they're at right now has a lot of that built into their price. That being said, if you go to pre-pandemic levels, Cineplex, I mean the attendance in their theaters were kind of on a downtrend, and that's because a lot of people were staying at home and watching streaming at that point before the pandemic, anyways. So I think for the long term, I'm not sure I'm going to hold that stock long term, but I do like it as a rebound stock. What about like Air Canada? Have you taken a look into that?
Yeah, and I think for Air Canada, they're obviously gonna have a rebound, but they've been bleeding financially, of course, through this pandemic. So even after things open back up financially, they still have a long road ahead of them to pay back some of that debt. But I think once the floodgates open, and I am taking an optimistic view in that we have the vaccines rolling out, and we are going to see a lot of traveling. And back to Cineplex, I do think there is some nostalgia to going to the movie theaters, and I think a lot of these things that we all took for granted for pre-pandemic, you're going to see a lot of demand in that people are going to be excited to go for dinner and a movie kind of night again, and take those Mexico, Cuba trips during the winter. And I think we are going to see a lot of rebound, like you said, with some of these some of these stocks.
Yeah, and actually, I was reading an article the other day, and they said cruise lines have now booked full till through to 2022. So definitely, yeah, there's going to be some good years for these rebound stocks, and the cruise lines are another one. You've seen a lot of those cruise line stocks just make a good comeback over the last few years, even before things are 100% open. So can just imagine once the floodgates they open, those stocks may go for another level of increase here.
I completely agree. It's amazing what you take for granted now that you can't do it. For me, Live music. For the last few years, I hadn't gone to many live shows, concerts. I had Glorious Sons tickets, and Ticketmaster still owes me for those, but I can't wait for a live show again. Like just talking about things opening back up. So I think, like we're talking about with these rebound stocks, we're going to see a lot of people spending lots of money in the economy on some of these industries.
Yeah. Well, and talking about hockey, right? Once those go up, I know I'm going to try to go get a Oilers game or a Flames game, take in one of those.
I can't wait to go to a live game and spend a lot of money on a beer.
Yeah, yeah. One other industry that I know caught my attention on your channel as well is cannabis. I know you're bullish on some cannabis stocks out there. Which are some of the ones that you're following right now, Kyle?
Yeah, for myself, it's Supreme Cannabis, Weed MD, and I'm also in the ETF, so the Exchange Traded Fund, HMMJ. That's the Horizons Medical Marijuana Index. For me, that's my basket of stocks that can be a part of the industry. A little trickle here and there, kind of dabble in all the different companies. In HMMJ, there's companies like Canopy, Tilray, Village, and I'm just happy to be a part of that, and that I really feel that this is going to grow in the future, specifically with international markets. The Biden administration now going forward with legalization in the States, and with Canada being legalized already, and now with the launch of Cannabis 2.0, that being infusion-based product, I really think there's a lot of potential with this industry, and I'm excited to be a part of it, definitely.
Yeah, when I first started following cannabis, it was, I have a lot of friends in the investment advisor world, and I have a few of them who are, and I made a video about this, is they're cannabis connoisseurs themselves, and they actually didn't get in on that first wave. And specifically, they called it when they said a lot of producers are going to file for bankruptcy because a lot of them came into the game without the right expertise in cultivating the strands that would do well, especially here in Canada. And so they see the next wave, which is this Cannabis 2.0, as they call it, as like the real deal. And so I think your assessment about like going long on these things, I think is absolutely correct. US decriminalization, legalization of marijuana is going to be huge. So we have a lot of Canadian players that I think are well positioned to take advantage of all that.
Yeah, definitely. So do I. And, for myself being a connoisseur, it's more so on the CBD oil side of things. I have a big injury from my past, a motocross injury. I used to race quite a bit. It was a very big part of my past. And I have a shoulder replacement. So CBD oil and the benefits of medical marijuana have helped a lot. And I can definitely respect what it's doing for the medical industry in that respect.
Yeah, no, lots to look forward to when it comes to the cannabis games. I actually picked up a new one called Hexo, which was a big company until it took a bit of a hit in, call it, Cannabis 2.0 or 1.0. But they've done a lot of right things, and I picked up their stock the other day, I think about $8, and it's since climbed over $9 today, so I'm pretty happy about that pick. I think they're doing a lot of good things, and so yeah, there's no shortage of cannabis stocks for us to choose from. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as I mentioned before, I put a link to his channel in the description below. Make sure you go check out the second part of this video. If you haven't done so already on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. Every little bit helps. Thank you for watching the Business Report Show, and remember to always be learning, always be investing. I'll catch you in the next video.